Good evening. The SNP's Westminster Leader says he expects a positive announcement from RBS over its plans to close dozens of bank branches in Scotland. Ian Blackford told the BBC that good progress had been made in discussions and he's hopeful a breakthrough can be found. Graham Stewart reports.
Politicians have been in talks with RBS ever since the bank announced in December its plans to close dozens of branches. The company, which is state-owned, said it was responding to changes in customer behaviour, including a rise in digital banking. In all, 62 RBS branches in Scotland face closure in the coming months, some of them in small towns and villages. But could a U-turn be on the cards? Last month, senior officials from the bank told a Westminster committee that they stood by their move. But this morning, the SNP's Westminster Leader said he expected a positive announcement.
We've had very positive engagement. I know that others have been involved as well. So, for example, the Scottish Select Committee has been involved. We're at the stage that, in principle, that we recognise that something has to be done in order to keep a number of bank branches open. But I want to wait till we're in a position that a formal announcement can be made. But there's been very constructive dialogue, which has happened over the course of the last few weeks and months.
And then this from a Conservative MP.
I don't want to prejudge what RBS are going to say, but I think RBS are reviewing their policy.
It sounds like you're trying to say in a very roundabout way that you know that RBS will agree not to close branches where there is no other bank.
Well, unlike Ian Blackford, I'm going to let the Scottish Affairs Committee, Select Committee, an all-party committee led by Pete Wishart and deputy by John Lamont, I'm going to let them come forward with what the statement is from RBS.
RBS have refused to comment, but the heavy hints made by politicians this morning suggest that a U-turn of some sort is indeed on the cards. And it's my understanding an announcement could be made as early as Tuesday morning. Graham Stewart, reporting Scotland, Glasgow.
A man and a woman, both elderly, have been taken to Aberdeen Royal Infirmary after being hit by a car in King Street in the city. It happened this afternoon near Regent Walk. A Labour MSP has written to the First Minister calling for the Justice Secretary to be investigated for a possible breach of the ministerial code. Daniel Johnson claims that Michael Matheson misled Parliament about the decision to reinstate Police Scotland's Chief Constable. A government spokesman said the Justice Secretary had acted appropriately at all times. Scots are being urged to book an appointment with their GP if they have any concerns about potential symptoms of cancer. The Scottish Government is joining charities in an early detection campaign on World Cancer Day. The message: an early diagnosis can lead to better treatment and outcomes. Katrina Renton reports.
Bruce Cutler would complete the routine screening test for bowel cancer every 2 years. But in 2015, he did the test before going on holiday to Spain. He had no symptoms.
Came back late in the evening and the letter was waiting there, and I thought this will just be to tell me everything's okay. It said that they found abnormal results and wanted me to go in for further tests. It's at that point that fear or shock starts to set in.
After tests, Bruce discovered he had a tumour. Since his treatment, he is now clear of cancer. The Scottish Government is working with cancer charities on the Detect Cancer Early programme.
We're talking about changing the big C into wee c so that it no longer is this terrifying thing, and that actually the survival rates for cancer now are very good, but of course early detection is best. So that is why the message is so important, to get along to your doctor if you have any concerns whatsoever, and of course to take part in the screening programme.
I had no noticeable signs, any symptoms at the time I did the test. And I still think back and say, well, for how long would that have carried on before I started to feel ill and gone to the doctors and then to find out it had gone too far? So in my view, it's quite possible that that test saved my life and we wouldn't be here today having this interview.
Katrina Renton, reporting Scotland.
Now tennis, and Cameron Norrie couldn't stop Spain from going through to the quarter-finals of the Davis Cup. He fought hard for nearly 3 3/4 hours in Marbella. The young Scot was defeated in 4 sets, giving the home team an unassailable 3-1 lead over Great Britain. Now, the weather for this evening and the start of the week. Judith's here. How's it looking?
Distinctly wintry, Sally, and a very good evening to you. As far as tonight's concerned, a lot of dry weather in the forecast, a widespread frost, so that's clear skies for much of Scotland. We could see the odd wintry flooding across more eastern areas. There'll be a risk of some freezing fog patches by tomorrow morning as well. Lows typically of around about freezing, but down to -3 or 4 in some rural parts, a wee bit higher over the western and northern Isles. So tomorrow, a dry, frosty start. It will be a cold start everywhere too, but plenty of sunshine from first light. There'll be a wee bit more in the way of cloud towards North Argyll, the Southern Highland, producing the odd wintry flooding, but elsewhere it's dry. And then we'll start to see this rain pushing into the Western Isles by the end of the afternoon, along with a strengthening wind. A cold day, highs of 3 or 4 Celsius. Now we have this weather front approaching tomorrow evening, crossing the country as it reaches the cold air, turning readily to snow even to lower levels as it crosses the country on Monday night and into Tuesday. Clear by Tuesday morning, but some wintry showers in the west, dry and sunny in the east. That's your forecast.
Judith, thank you very much. That's it for now. We're back with the late news at 10:25. Until then, have a very good evening.